How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to be making a guide on the Radon Area 12 in SCP 5K. Some people may be struggling with this, so this is kind of going to serve as both a gameplay walkthrough as well as a tips and tricks sort of video. My goal is going to be trying to get through this with no deaths, but you know, it's possible that I might die from time to time, so it's more of a walkthrough than a no death run. I'm also going to be kind of talking about my general thoughts on the game and what I think about it as a game. So first things first, we're going to talk about the starting area. The starting area is pretty easy to get through. Typically, I can just guess this code over here because it's almost always the same. But I'm going to go show you where this code spawns. So you go in through here. You'll see this corpse right here. I'm just going to crouch and get under here. It serves as kind of a nice gameplay tutorial that blends seamlessly into the environment. We just go through here, jump across this platform, and then check this right here, 0451. The reason I said you can guess that code is because it's almost always going to be 0451. So I'm going to get that code. If you ever forget what a code is, you can just press a J and it'll open the journal, and then hit the codes button and it'll show right here. But that code is almost always 0451. It's occasionally something else, but it's usually 0451. So you go into that room there, come across, and enter your code right here. Just turn your flashlight, just press a G, and then you can walk in through here. Something I highly recommend is that if you have not played this game blind before, I recommend you do. Something this game does extremely well is its immersion and general gameplay just always feels really good. It's part of the reason why I can run through this Area 12 raid over and over again and not ever really get tired of it, because the gameplay just feels very smooth. Its baseline for gameplay just feels really good. Anyway, after you go through there and activate the generator through that chain link fence over there, you need to come into this room here, head up these stairs, and in this room we're going to interact with this fuse box right here. Open it up, interact with it, light turns green, and this door opens. Cross through over here, and interact with this breaker right here. Flip the breaker, open this door, and head through into the control room. This opening area is pretty simple to follow. It's pretty much linear, but it is convenient to know because some people might not know. After you head into this room, I'm going to walk over here, hit this button. This is overlooking the room we just came in from, or the next room over from where we came in from. That does let that does let some zombies out into the starting area, so you do want to be a bit cautious about that. But afterwards, we'll turn around and head through this door, which is now open. Passing through here, we're going to turn this way, go through these double doors, and down these stairs. Now, there's two things we're going to have to do in this next part. It's going to be to activate a generator in that room there, and another generator in the next room over. In this room here, there are some zombies, so I'm going to open this door, and then back up and start dealing with the zombies. There's not too terribly many in here, but it can be a bit much sometimes. But if you aim for the head, aim better than I do, shouldn't be too much trouble. Very good. If you did take any damage there, you can check it on your right-hand side just to make sure you didn't take any damage. You walk into this trailer here, and there's always some meds here. So for this next part, I highly recommend you do the plumbing section first. On the left side it says search the plumbing facility and reboot its generator. I highly recommend you do that first. It does give you a better sidearm and a shotgun you can use, which makes this part just slightly easier. But to get to code, you might notice if you head down over here, that is going to be a keypad which you need a code for. So in order to find that code, it does spawn in this main room here. Sometimes it'll spawn in the back of this truck, which it did for me, 8546. I'll just grab that code and we'll come back to it later. Sometimes I'll point out a few other spawns that I've seen it spawn at. I have seen it spawn in this corner over here. Sometimes the tab will be there next to a body. Other times it will be in that trailer there, and occasionally it's in that container right there. So what we're going to do now, and sometimes it can be back in that room over there. Just look around this loading area and generally you'll come across it. Sometimes it can also be next to this guy right here. So after you get your code, I highly recommend you head into the plumbing area over here. Follow this green line into this chamber here. And immediately to your left, if you come up here, you will find a new sidearm. Usually it's 2 P320s, but sometimes you'll come across something like an M9 that might be sitting here. But there's almost always at least one P320. Come over here, open this fuse box, flip the breaker. That'll open this door. Do not open this door, because here, it's a lot easier to just deal with these few zombies that come through. After that, you can open this door, change your mag, and head into the next area. I'll show you how to open this code right here. If we go into this room here, there is a locked locker that we're going to need to get a code for, which I'll show you how to get. So, you might notice this door's locked and there's no button to get in, but if you come into this room here, there's that sparking fuse box there. Just shoot that, and the door will open. This is something fairly common, at least in this early stage. You don't see it much later, but it is important to keep note of because it might be something that gets developed on in the future. Make sure you're being careful as you're going through this area, as sometimes the zombies can jump out at you a little bit. Moving down here, we are now below the room with the sparking box. And there's a few more sparking boxes in this room. We go this way, and up these stairs, same thing, this door is locked. Just shoot that sparking box right there, and it opens both doors. From here, let's go through. Push this button here. That'll open the next area and reboot the generator. So technically, you can just walk away, but I do recommend you shoot this box right here, and that'll open that door up for you. Be careful as you open that door, as you can see here. You do actually get attacked by a group of zombies. Making sure we're taking care of that. Gonna run through here. Usually there's about 2 more in this room that spawn right away. 3 more. And lying on the table in this room is a shotgun, along with a first aid kit to patch myself up. Sometimes it'll be XM1014, but right now it was a Mossberg 500. Some useful information to note, toggling your HUD on and off. Personally, I like to keep my HUD off for the most part. Sometimes I'll toggle it back on to check my health and also to check how much ammo I have. You can check your ammo by holding R. It displays in the bottom right hand corner of the screen there. Otherwise, I like to keep my HUD off though. It makes the game feel a little bit more immersive. Anyway, so once we exit the room that we just came out of right here, we go up these stairs and into this room, which was closed when we first came down here. You enter this room here. Go into the room on the left. Be sure to kill this zombie on the way in. Crouch down right here. Go through this vent. Be sure to kill him as well. And sitting on the table right here is another code. This is going to be the code of that locker I pointed out earlier. So we'll head back out through here. Up the stairs. Down to the end of the hall. Hang a left. And open this locker. And I've already forgotten what the code was. 7019. Interact, 7019, enter. Something to note, the codes are randomized almost every time, other than that very first code, which is usually 0451. So you can usually guess that code. Otherwise, the rest of the codes will be randomized almost every time. Coming back out, I'm just going to take this opportunity to re-up on my ammo just by swapping my pistol. This does refill your ammo for the pistol, and since I don't have any attachments on it, it's really simple. Alrighty, but now that we've got some better weapons, this next part just becomes slightly easier. We're going to head back out here. Back into the loading bay and take care of that other generator that I pointed out earlier. The code, like I said, we picked up out of the back of the truck over here. So we're going to head into this room and double check 8546. That unlocks this door and we can move on into the room. Now once you press this button, it's going to go ahead and start a small horde. Nothing too difficult, but it is nice to have something better than just a 1911 when you're dealing with it. They all come through. There we go. Problem solved. Like I said, much easier when you have an MP7 rather than just a 1911. Now that that door has been taken care of, we're going to head this way, back into the main room, and you'll notice that this door right here is open. Something to note, generally just following the signs on the wall can help you kind of figure out where your objective is, but it is nice to keep track of it. Okay, make sure we take care of this one infected right here. In this room, if you open this box here, there is a nice box of ammo here. There's 4 boxes there, which is enough if you have a full team. You can re-up on your ammo. I'm just going to this weapon bench and mod out my weapon. I have a weapon profile saved. There aren't a ton of mods for the MP7, but customize it as you see fit. Personally, I like the angled grip with a suppressor, a Romeo R3, and a CMR 301, which is the green laser. Makes the weapon a little bit more manageable. Personally, I don't keep the P320 for very long, so I don't really mod it. But if you do enjoy the P320, feel free to mod it. Now, you'll notice on the top right of my screen a pop-up just came up, an optional side objective. I'll go ahead and pick this up and show you guys how to get this achievement. This is the achievement for finding Dave's family. So right here, you find this box, go and pick it up, and that begins the side objective, finding Dave's family, which is of the utmost importance. Something else to note, I'm not going to really show you how to do this because this achievement has been disabled, but if you go back here, there's a little secret box that you can flip. That's correct, I'll show you how to do the achievement. This achievement has been removed, but when it was in the game, this achievement was a secret achievement you could get. Flipping that box opened this door here. Do be careful, there is a zombie in here, and he has killed me before because I was expecting him. There he goes. Just drop him real quick. We head through here. Flip this breaker. Oops. Flip the breaker. Head into this room here. Open this box up and flip this breaker. And then if we just drop down right here, go back around the corner over here and back into this room. Jumping over this, and this door is now open. This unlocked a secret achievement. This may have some content in the future, so it is kind of useful to know where it is. It also does have a spare bottle of pills in there if you need to patch yourself up. At the moment, there's nothing in here, but in the future, there may be something interesting in here. Anyway, now that we've gotten those two achievements, we got one of them started and the other one out of the way. That's strange. Anyway, after we got that out of the way, we're going to head this way, hang a right, and step into this elevator. A bug I have noticed with elevators is that if you tend to stand in this corner here, it is possible to just fall through the elevator, so do be a bit cautious. Get to the bottom of the elevator, hang a left, and I recommend pushing up hard in cover. Hang out right here, because up ahead there's a small fight between hellhounds and Foundation guards. So I usually just wait a second, let them kill each other. If you run over here and see what kind of pistols they have. In this case, gonna continue to push up. Switch on my night vision just so you can see what's going on. Foundation guard did not want to die. Got hellhound. These things can do quite a bit of damage, so it is important to make sure they don't get hit. That's why I recommend letting the Foundation guards deal with them. Usually, if you just sit at the top of the ramp, the Foundation guards will end up killing them all, but not always. So I do recommend you just be careful as you come down the stairs. So, this next portion, I have actually found to be surprisingly difficult, just because the position you have to hold is not really the best. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to go into this room here, and it'll open this door, and then a small horde's going to come out. I have found this position to be a little bit weak, so I have died here multiple times, solo and with a group, somehow. So, top off on ammo, make sure your mags are full. The code is going to be right there, 1443. Walk over to this keypad, key it in, and then get ready. Usually I will lean through this window here. Pick off as many of them as I can. Look at the door. Aim at about head height, and just put a few bursts through the door. Make sure we pick them all off. Good. Head into here. Now, something strange about this room I have noticed. There's a few zombies in here, but if you walk into the room, there's always that one gunshot there on the left. Don't know what's causing it, but my friends and I have jokingly started calling it desk pop, because it sounds like somebody just fucking does a desk pop over there. Anyway, gonna run further into the room, deal with that infected the infected, and then take a look at what weapons we got. MP5, M9. I'll take an M9. I like the M9. You know what? I haven't used the MP5 here in this game yet, so I'll go ahead and pick it up, give it a use. Use the MP5 SD, have not used the MP5 yet, and a friend of mine is a MP5 simp, so... This would be a bit of a 9mm enjoyer today. Alright, so when we get to the bottom of the stairs, do recommend some caution here, as the Foundation guards will sometimes push you right here. There's always 2 to 3 Foundation guards, usually 3, but last time I played I did find 2. You just saw his flashlight moving across the floor there. Do be a bit cautious as you peek this angle, especially if you're a little bit wounded like I am. There we go, he's down. Cross left here. And just cautiously clear the rest of this room. Make sure I'm not missing any Foundation guards. Very good. Looks clear. So next, we got to get into that room there. So I'm going to bring myself over here. Open this door up. Flip this open. And when I open this, a horde is going to spawn. So just to make sure your mag is full. Flip the switch. Door will start opening. Bring yourself over here, and there's the horde. My friends and I like to call this horde the party goers. Party guys. So run through, click on some heads. Problem solved. MP5 does feel quite nice, and that's something I really enjoy about this game. All of its shooting systems just feel really good. Here, if you're injured at all, there's a first aid kit you can grab. Ignoring the music. Set off the alarm, be careful, as this does also trigger a horde rate. There we go, horde's clear. So the next code that you're going to be looking for can sometimes vary in its spawning, so it is important to make sure you're just a little bit thorough as you sweep this area. First place I always check is in here. Sometimes it will spawn in here. It looks like it actually did. Also in this room is always a Glock 19 with a suppressor on it. Yep, looks like the code spawned right here. 3226. I'm going to go ahead and show you what other places the code can spawn, just in case it doesn't spawn there for you. So if you walk down this way, I recommend turning on night vision for this part. Maybe your flashlight too, so you can see further down the hallway. 2 Foundation guards spawn. Here. Just pick them off real quick. Kill the Foundation guard as he comes around the corner. Sometimes 2 spawn. Typically, though, the Foundation guards will actually die fighting these guys. Not always, though. Sometimes they're both still alive. Same down here. Very small horde you have to deal with. And do be careful, sometimes they will come from that side room there. Usually I just go over here. Make sure that nothing sneaks up. Very good, looking clear. Other times the code can spawn on these computers here or on this corpse right here. There is a reference to SCP Overlord for one of the achievements. Tell me I'm not the most valuable member of this team, to my best boy Basan. The code is not 1234 sadly, but I wish it was. But once you get the code, come back this way. And the door we're going to be going through is this one right here. Before we go through that door, I'm going to veer off to the left here and head into this side room. There's always a weapon spawn here. 2 weapon spawns, actually a pistol, and almost always a submachine gun. But there's also a weapon bench here we can mod at. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some attachments on here. We'll go ahead and take a, I don't know, we'll take a Romeo now. Yeah, let's take a Hollow Sun. Take a Hollow Sun, medium suppressor, vertical grip, and... Oh, that's cool. I actually quite like that. It is a little funny that it Keeps my old grip on. Oh. That's weird. Interesting. I think I'm going to just stick with my laser, though. Makes point shooting a little bit easier. So I'll take the laser. Very good. Don't like the front sight kind of pokes into my sight, but that's alright. Oh! Ammo box is in the next room. What was the code? 3226. Good. Don't worry about that alarm, doesn't trip anything. Grab this first aid kit for some health. Open this door here. Also, right here, you'll find some extra ammo and a few more meds in case you need to top off on your health. So, next, flip this breaker here, and that'll open the room in the next room. Now, in this next room, you'll see a familiar face, we'll call it, if you've played Containment Breach. There he is. Our old friend 173. So, if you don't know what 173 is, he is the statue that can only move when you're looking, or when you're not looking at it. Keep looking at him, and just back your way down this hallway. Now you're going to reach this stairwell on your left. You're going to want to take this one up, still staring at him. There is no threat in this room other than him, so just make sure he stays in front of you. You're going to walk down to here, you're going to stop, and he's going to start moving. Just keep watching that entrance there, and he can't move. There he is, just watching me. I'm going to back up. There's a door here you can open without looking at it. Back through it, close the door, and he's going to head this way. He will sometimes tear the door off its hinges, so keep backing up, making sure you're watching the stairs behind you. He cannot get to the top of these stairs. He will despawn once he reaches the top. There you go. He's despawned. He will not come to that door. So, this next part, hostile contact. Make sure you're full. It's usually as engaging some Z's. It's usually a coin toss on who's going to win. Usually you want the Z's to win because they're a lot easier to deal with. Stupid and decided to push out. The AI in this game, at least for the Foundation, isn't great, but their aim is good. They will fuck you up. Look at how many of them there are. Anyway, in this room we find one of our first mission objectives. We find one of Dave's children. He's sitting under the table here. Make sure you pick him up. So you're going to come into this room here, open this panel and flip this switch, and you'll fail an objective. Attempt to start the backup generator. You can't do that. Now, before we move on into the next room here, we're going to double back. Turn here and go down the stairs. And we're going to turn this valve right here. That's going to complete one of 3 objectives. The next 2 are in the next rooms above us, and those rooms will have 173 in them, so do be cautious. Also sitting on the ground here, you can find a Galil Ace-22. I am personally not a big fan of the Ace-22, so I'm not going to take it. I'm going to stick with this MP5, because I quite enjoy the MP5. Also in this room, we have got meds and ammo. We'll re-up on that, and then head up the stairs. Like I said, in this next room, there is 173. Do be careful, as he's a little bit more tricky to deal with in this room. I still have yet to die to him, but it is entirely possible, so just do be cautious. So typically, he will spawn in this room. I'm not positive of his exact spawn point, but he usually comes through right over here. There he is, right there. Go ahead, just make sure you're keeping your eyes on him. Put your back to some kind of wall, so that he doesn't move. Make sure you're listening out for where he moves to, because he will try and get around you. There he is. He can be quite difficult to keep track of. Make sure you're keeping your eyes on him. Once he gets in this position, he's generally pretty easy to deal with. Just back down this hallway here. If you ever come and hit that box, just make sure you move to your right. Keep backing up. Keep him in your line of sight until you get to this truck. Right here at this truck, there'll be another one of those valves that you gotta turn. We're gonna go ahead and flip that. And we're just gonna slowly back around this corner. He's gonna move all the way up to there, and you're just gonna keep backing up all the way down the stairs. Keep your eyes at the top of the stairs where my laser's pointed. move forward around this corner here, keeping your eyes at the top of those stairs. Once you reach this pipe here, just press F, that'll flip the next valve. Back all the way up. Much like in containment breach, you can open this door without looking at it. Back through the door, keeping your eyes on the bottom of the stairs. And this door, you do have to push twice. There we go. And now he will despawn and he can't do anything anymore. So we'll head back into this room here. And we will flip the switch. And that'll activate the generator. Now that the generator's been activated, that sound there was his despawn cue, so he is gone. We won't have to deal with him for the rest of the game. We're going to head back into the room we came in through. Back into this room here, and like I said, 173 has despawned. You don't have to worry about him. He will not be back in this staircase if he was following you up the stairs like he was to me. We'll head down the stairs here. Hang a left. Like I said, he's not in this room. Run back down the stairs. Turn around, hit these stairs here. Head down them. Open this door up. Head over to this computer and interact with it. That's going to lower the water flow down below us. There is a rushing water stream down below us that will slow down the flow. It doesn't look like it does, but according to the game, it does. The game will also tell you to trust it. Smash this light because I'm wearing night vision. And bam. It says drop down to the waterway. Trust me, it's safe. So we're just going to jump over this barrier here and into the waterway. We'll run down this way. Hang a right, go up these stairs, and turn left. Now this room is pretty easy to deal with if you're in the right position, but it can be a little bit dangerous, especially because another SCP spawns in this room. There is a total of 3 main well, I guess technically 4 SCPs you have to deal with. I forget the numbers for all of them. Obviously there's 173. There's the Psi Zombies, which I forget what type of SCP they are, what SCP number they are, along with a few others we'll talk about when we get there. In this room here, there is an MP7 along with some bandages. If you go down here as well, down at the bottom here, there is a modding table, but I'm not going to go down there. I'm just going to continue on with the goal. We'll push this button here. We'll run up here, up these stairs, open this door, and get in position, because right here, a zombie wave spawns along with another SCP. I forget the number of this SCP, but these are the team of crabs. They are essentially just giant crabs, but they are pretty dangerous. They do quite a bit of damage. They do quite a bit of damage, and they can only be hit from if you hit them in the legs or under their shell, which does cause a bit of a problem if you're trying to engage them head on. That being said, despite the fact that they can only be hit in this way, they also tend to flee, and their AI is not very good. So they're a little bit easy to pick off if you know what you're doing. Sometimes their AI doesn't have to play nice, and they just will charge you no matter what. Like this guy here. I'll usually just crouch down, kind of shoot for the leg point, the joints where they connect. He's going to try to run and just get smoked. Keep on moving down the stairs here. There's another one there. He's charging, just put a quick burst into his leg, and he is done for. Same with this guy right here. His front, and he is down. If you hit this point at the top of the shell, it will not penetrate. But if you hit anywhere like the legs or underneath the shell, like right here in the front, they'll drop pretty quickly. That being said, you will burn through quite a bit of ammo in this part, which is unfortunate because the next part is also a bit difficult. So I recommend using your pistol if you can. Or have a decent one. Especially if you have like a 5.7. I have found the 5.7 to be decently effective against them. The Glock, not so much, but the 5.7 does hit pretty hard against them. I do recommend caution as well. Make sure that you cleared this room, because sometimes they do like to sneak up behind you if you didn't. Like, there's still 2 more there. I'm just going to keep moving and hope that they don't try and come up behind me. They also tend to get stuck in the door. That's just part of their AI, or not their AI, but their model being huge. Whew. Part of their model being huge, they get stuck in things. So, it's unfortunate. I don't know if they made the best choice with that kind of SCP, but it is what it is. Regardless, we're going to move on through here. Now, this part can be quite difficult. But I'll run up here, pick up this box of ammo, and then up here, get hit in the process, go through the store, close it, and I am safe. The reason I sprinted through that part is because there is a large quantity of Foundation guards there, along with a plant, whose number I also don't remember, that does a lot of damage to you. In fact, it's extremely likely that that's actually what ended up hitting me right there. You'll notice that this water is electrocuted. Don't want to go through there. It will instantly kill you. So instead, we're going to go down here, into the side room here, pick up this ammo, medicate, and then flip this right here. For right now, I'm also going to real quick mod up my pistol, because dealing with those crabs made me realize my pistol is not modded the way I want it to be. Man, that's much better. Alright, water is no longer electrocuted. If you are playing multiplayer, I highly recommend you be the last person to go through here, because you can turn that electrocution back on and kill your friends. So, make sure that nobody, at least somebody you trust, is going to be in the back if you're going to be the first one through. I'm going to come back up, open this door up, and around that corner is going to be one of those plants I was talking about. Generally, aiming for the flower head of the plant will kill it fairly quickly, but you do want to make sure you really focus on that, because it can one-shot kill you if you're not careful. When they shake their head like that, that means you killed it. If you noticed, I saw a shadow back there, so there's probably an SCP guard back there. It's drooping like that, that means it's dead, so I can move up. I'm going to just take this kind of slow, make sure he doesn't frag me. Excellent, looks like he's been taken care of. As we move down, you'll notice a side room here with a locker in it. If you melee this door, by default it's usually a mouse thumb button. If you melee this door 3 times, it breaks off, and you can head back here and open up. And there is an ammo box back here. Several ammo boxes and some meds if you got hurt. We're going to move on through. And you'll notice there's a few plants on the far side. Same thing. Ow. See, just like that. I got hit once and I'm already at 25% HP. I'm going to come back here, bandage myself up. They don't have a ton of health, but if you don't hit them in the flower head, they tend to be pretty dangerous. There we go. That one's dead. There's 2 of them, so I gotta make sure I kill them both. Looks like I got them. Perfect, they're both dead. We'll double back. Pick up the second ammo box in this locker, just top off on ammo, because this next part will require a bit of ammo. There is a fairly large squadron of SCP Foundation guards that will spawn on this staircase. I recommend taking the right staircase because you have a little bit more cover as they come around the corner here. There are 2 squads that spawn. The first one is right there that I just smoked. Well, one of them is carrying a light machine gun, interestingly enough. I've never noticed that before. You'll notice that guards do like to try and spray you through walls. Cautious. There we go. Sometimes there'll be 1 or 2 extra guards in this room. It just kind of depends on how long it took for you to get up here. Perfect, we're clear. In this room, there's always quite a bit of weapons to pick and choose from. I recommend, there's a lot of weapons, I recommend experimenting with which one you like and which one you don't. Personally, my favorite is probably the Mark 18, that's what I'm going to take here. The SA-58 isn't too terrible. I really not a big fan of the P90. The Tavor's pretty good. Both MP5s are good, but if you're going to pick one of them, I recommend the MP5A2, this one right here, simply because it can be modded out more. This one can only take, the MP5 SD can only take a sight. M9s are both not too bad. I recommend picking one up if you only have like a 1911. Personally, the Glock is one of my favorites, along with the 5.7. Around the corner here, there is also a modding table. Customize how you expect it. Mine is the Land of the Free. So I got a nice kitted out M4 here, and Mark 18. along with a few ammo boxes in the corner here, and in these lockers you'll find a bit of ammo. Just a good spot to refit and resupply once we get into the next section. Come around here, push this button. Push this button here to start the elevator. And again, stay out of that corner. That's typically where you'll fall through if it's going to happen. Something to note about this game is that the animations and the weapon just condition and everything about the way the gunplay feels is super good. I've been talking about this whole video, but personally I just really enjoy it. So with that out of the way, we're going to continue down this hallway. This room is pretty dark, but there's a few spotlights at the far side, so I recommend night vision for this part. And this part can be a bit tricky. So essentially, down at the far end there, there's a group of guards. You might have just saw that flashlight there. There's a group of guards down at the far side there. And you want to be a bit cautious because they can be a little tricky to deal with. But the big thing that happens is once you kill them and push up far enough, that shutter door right there will open. And another team of guards will spawn behind you and will try and sandwich you. First time I went through here, I was really caught off guard and I actually died in the process. So do be a bit cautious as you come through here. I recommend just hold this angle here, peek a little wide. Pick them off and they'll start to push you. Just pick three out. There's usually 3 or 4 of them. You just pick them off as they come down this hallway. I've gotten them all there, so I'm going to move up. And just as you move up, listen out. Eventually you hear a squeaking noise. Like that. Turn back around. And just pick off the few guards that spawn back there. Usually it's only 2 or 3. I do recommend you come back into this room because there are some meds that spawn, and Dave's wife is right here. Pick her up. Now we only have one more person to pick up, and that's going to be Dave's other child. But once we've cleared this room, I do always recommend being cautious as you move up here, because sometimes one guard will like lurk a little bit. But it looks like we got them all, so we can continue into the next room. Gonna crouch through here. Go down the stairs, turn around, go down the stairs, into this chamber here. In this room here, we do have some more meds and ammo. I recommend just topping off while you're here. Push this button here, and it'll take you down to the next floor. We're getting close to the end of the raid now. It is quite long. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour to complete. With a full group, it can be a little longer or a little shorter, depending, as long as everybody knows what they're doing. In this room here, there's a few extra weapons. Personally, all 3 of these are just not my favorites. I really don't like the Galil. The P90 is my least favorite of all the submachine guns. Normally, I do enjoy the FAL, the SA-58, but in this game, it's just not my favorite. There's a few other weapons that I prefer more, like the Mark 18 and the Mark 17, but it's not a bad choice. If it's a solid pick. Of those 3, that's probably what I would take. Come through this room here. There are soda machines. You can drink from these to get 5% of your health back. We'll walk in here. There's another weapon sitting on here, which is obviously a Galil. Push this button, and that'll open up all the shutters. If you want to come over here, there is a memorial here to all the people who have backed the game, which is quite nice. Personally, my favorite is Thomas Draws, the creator of the KS-23, but you know. Anyway, so this next part is quite possibly one of, if not the most challenging parts of the game, if you don't know what you're doing. I have done this a number of times. Whenever I play with my group, I am always the one who does this part. It's usually 50-50 on whether or not I die. So, I'm going to show you how to get through this part. So essentially what this is an SCP. Another one was SCPs that you can't look at, kind of like 096. Essentially what this SCP does is a sentient line of code that lives in displays, mirrors, monitors, TVs, stuff like that. If you look at it, it'll make your head explode. So I'm going to show you the quickest way to deal with this part. It's not foolproof. Sometimes you will die doing this, but it's usually what works for me. So you're going to come through here, head down the stairs, following this cable here, and it leads up to that room there. So we need to get up there. To get through there, we got to go into this room here where the SCP is. So you're going to take a left. I recommend, and now as you enter this room, look straight at the ground. I recommend keeping your flashlight on because it makes it easy to tell if you're going to die or not. Run straight through this room, looking at the ground, head to the right-hand corner of the room, jump onto the stage, and run into the backstage here. If you stay on that stage, you will take damage. That's because of the SCP's presence. I'm personally not positive how to deal with that, but if you're cautious, you can do it. Go into here, interact with this key card, and that picks it up. Go back around, through the back room here, and once you go through the door, you're going to step out, jump, and you'll take another bit of damage. Interact with this, we'll open this room. This room is safe, you can look around this room. We'll head through into here. Again, interact with this and look straight at the ground. Run through, up these stairs, and out of the room. Keep looking down. You're going to go left, then right. Go left and then right. I was just affected by the SCP, so I'm going to run into this corner here. I was just affected by the SCP, so I'm about 50-50 on whether or not I'm going to die. If you can get away from the screen that affected you, typically you'll live. Not always, though. I'm going to run through to here, interact with that, come this way, and at this point we are safe from the SCP. Like I said, I know that wasn't the best explanation of how to deal with that room, mainly because you have to look at the ground the whole time to survive, but if you follow my steps, you can survive that room. Come over here, flip that switch, and that kills the SCP. I'm going to drop down into here, and from here, there's no meds until we get to the next room, but there is a combat encounter between here and there, so you are going to want to make sure you drink from these soda machines as you go by. I recommend drinking from as many of them as you can because it'll restore almost 80% health. Anyway, follow the cable, go back to the room we were just in, drinking from any vending machines we pass along the way. If you do die in here, there is a weapon. There are a few weapons you can pick up. You can always backtrack to the room with the 3 guns on the table like there was before. There's also the rifle sitting on the entry hall, sitting in the entry hall over there. We're going to swing this way. And there's also always a shotgun of some kind sitting on the table there. Back here, there's 2 more vending machines to drink from to get more health from. Head up the stairs. Hang a right. Hang another right. Turn left. Have 3 more vending machines to drink from. Get your health back. We have Beppis Disappointment. Radioactive. No, seriously, don't drink this. And Conk. Ingest. And we're going to continue down here. Hang a left. That shutter there is going to open once we complete this next part. Hang a right. Into the administration division. Run up the stairs. And this room's going to trip an alarm. Go behind the table here. Push this button. Also sitting on the table, if you want it, is the 357 Magnum, or 38 Special. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, it hits really hard, but personally, I just prefer larger mag size. Also in this room, 2 more vending machines to drink from, just to kind of max out your HP there. Come into here, and now we're going to have an encounter with SCP Foundation guards. Just be cautious. Advance slowly. And there'll always be that last one that comes from the left. There's always 3 in this room at first. Alrighty. After we deal with all 3 of them, we're going to head into this next room. And this room will always have a large amount of infected in it. They will charge you as soon as you come in, so I always recommend backing up and just kind of letting them funnel towards you into this room. Controlled bursts. And just pop a few heads. if you got injured in that part, there are meds in the next room. You can always head into the next room, and there will be a few meds in here. So what we're looking for in this room are going to be these orange folders here. When you go through and pick them up, you'll complete the objective. There's a med sitting right there, but it'll add part to your objective. Pick up the orange files as you go through. Do be cautious and keep your ears open, because more zombies will spawn. If you just heard that roar there, that means more zombies just spawned. You might be wondering why I'm using my pistol for this, and that is because the next part is... And that is because this next part, after this room, is an extensive engagement with Foundation staff, so it is important to have a large supply of your primary weapons ammo available. Go through this room. Just I'll be keeping an eye out for meds. I have seen an ammo box spawn in this room. At least I feel like I have, but I can't promise that, and I feel like I'm always underprepared with ammo when I do this part. So just be keeping your eyes out for anything useful. There's always meds in this room, and the third and final member of Dave's family is in this room. And it's his other child who is going to spawn on this shelf right here. Go and pick him up, and that completes the achievement. I already have the achievement, so I didn't get it. But all you have to do is pick up all of them. You don't actually have to complete the Area 12 raid with his children to get the achievement. All you have to do is pick them up. Excellent. Alrighty, so I just went through and picked up all the files. Next thing we're going to do is head this way. Again, be cautious, because sometimes I've seen guards spawn in this room. Another first aid kit there if you need it. So essentially what's going to happen is we're going to activate some cooling bays and start doing a data transfer. Guards will spawn up in the top up here, coming through that door, and the same on the opposite side of the room. It is a fairly large number of guards, so I do recommend being very careful as you come through this room. Start flipping on these cooling bays. Push the button. That'll open this room back up so you can get back in the main entrance hallway. Go to the other side and do the same thing. Guards don't spawn until you start the file transfers, so it is good to go through here and start both sides of this cooling bay now. Start them both up. Push this button to open this door. And then we're going to take this section by section. We're going to do the A section first and then the B section. Go into the A section, find the computer. They're not always in the same spot, at least in all 4 sections. Push that button. Cross over here very quickly. Push this button. And then back up into the entry hallway as quickly as you can. Pull yourself back into this corner here and then just wait. These guards do tend to spawn high-powered weapons, including weapons like the revolver, which do a large amount of damage. See a light there, so that means there's a guard around that corner. Sometimes they will try and shoot you through the windows here, so do be careful. Just make sure you're prepared for the engagement. If you have died in this room or are missing weapons, there are more weapon spawns in here. For fuck's sake, another Galil and Foul. But they do spawn in here along with 2 more vending machines. Alrighty, so on the left side you'll see there the pickup thumb drive quest is active. Just go and jump in here, interact with those computers again to pick up the thumb drive, and then we're going to do the same thing in the next room over. Again, now this time, and the first time I did both the A1 and 2. This time I'm just going to do B1 first and then back off again. Again, coming back. As you can see there, they're trying to shoot me through the wall. I'm going to back off, turn off my light, and just hold this position here. Generally, I have found that this is the strongest position to be in. Let them come to you. Very rarely, you may have to go to that. Alrighty, not looking too bad. I'll just grab the thumb drive. Make sure my most full mag is in my gun. And then head into here. They always seem to spawn on the side there, on the right-hand side. Not always, but it always feels like they do, but that came from the left, so. Like I said, not always perfect. I almost had them all, though. 164 and 1, not too bad. Generally speaking, if you die in this room, it's not that big a deal. There's always some extra sidearms in the room, but if you're playing solo, it does cost you a life, but this room is generally pretty difficult, so at least in my experience, I have found it to be rather difficult. Usually, if I'm trying to do this deathless, this is typically where the first death happens. Either the first... Not always the first death. Ow! Fuck. A death, at least. Usually not two, though. That's definitely a first. Remember, every time you die, you do spawn with a 1911, so it's not always the end of the game, but it does definitely does make this room a bit more of a challenge. Ah, you see his laser there? Oh, he heard me. There we go. Problem solved. Alrighty, the hard part is over. I'm gonna go ahead into one of these side rooms, pick up a gun. I'll go with the Ace-23, or the Ace-22, I suppose. Again, not a big fan of this gun, but, Actually, you know what? I'll take the FAL. I'll take the FAL. Why not? Alrighty, so we're gonna head into room B2. This is B1, so we're gonna cross the other side. And pick up the flash drive from B2. Bam. Perfect. Alright, we're in the very last phase of the game. Go on into this room here. Back through the way we came. Like I said earlier, a new door has opened, the one I pointed out. Go down these stairs here. And hang a right, and this door is now open. It's the reactor. When me and my friends first did this part, we thought it was very foreboding to see this corpse here, but it's really not that foreboding. So, like, there's really nothing in here other than a lot of zombies and a lot of guards. This is also probably one of the harder parts of the game. I would usually just sit back and let the guards deal with most of the zombies here, because typically they tend to kill each other pretty quick. Alrighty. The hard part of this room is done. I'm going to head up the stairs here. Just listening out for anything suspicious that I might hear. Sometimes you will encounter more guards or zombies. Make sure you're watching your back, but generally speaking, you're pretty safe in here. In this room here, you do get one of my favorite weapons in the game, the AK. It does vary what type of AK you get. Sometimes it's a 103, sometimes it's a 105, sometimes it's a 74. It just kind of varies. This box also doesn't seem to do anything, so, you know. Jump over here. I'm going to mod out this gun here. Personally, I'm a big fan of the OKP, the AK compensator, some kind of grip. It varies kind of what I'm feeling. I'm kind of feeling the angle grip today, and then a laser sight. No canted sight for me. Oops. But bam, there we go. Looking fresh. And I enjoy the stock 1911 personally. Alrighty, let's head down these stairs. Across to the left here. Definitely make sure your gun is on full auto for this next part. Through here, this door will start to open. And if you watch right there, we got company. I definitely did not get them all. There's usually about 6 or 7 in this room. So, approach with caution. Very good. Alrighty, so we're going to start by heading to the left here into the cooling plant. Again, take it slow as you come through these rooms. There will be a number of guards. There was one right there. I hear more. If you hold this position here. You can usually catch a few of them on the stairs. Not always. The AI don't always like to do as they're told. So I'm just going to cautiously move forward, keeping my gun off point fire mode. Rebind your controls as necessary. I keep point fire on one of my thumb buttons just so I have easy control over it. Pretty much just means I gotta hold my mouse a little bit more. Very good. Oh, one more. Alrighty, first squad is down. There will be a second that spawns and they try to come in behind you after you flip this on. But you're going to run through here, open this panel, push this button, and that's cooling plant A active. We're going to do basically the same thing on the opposite side, just a slightly different layout. Again, keep it slow, because sometimes another group will come in behind you. We're looking pretty good. Go across the other side. That is the big door that you were behind earlier. Flip this open. Again, take this nice and slow. Making sure we're just keeping ourselves safe. The second squad that comes behind you spawns behind that door. Usually it's only 1 or 2, but it still can be enough sometimes. Squad in here is about 5 or 6. Usually not too bad, but it can be problematic. There we go. Nothing too difficult. Cross over here, hit the button, and you hear that door opening. Again, keep it slow. Frag out that squad as they come through. Alright, perfect. Next. Usually I like to save some ammo, take my pistol in this bag. I'm just going to shoot the green pipes over the nuclear reactor. Then we're going to head up these stairs here. I have had some contact on these stairs before, so do just be careful. I just heard a door open. Check your corners as you're coming through here. Make Captain Price proud. Perfect. Perfect. Alrighty. So this is your last chance to pick out any weapons you might want. In here, we can resupply. I highly recommend you take the LMG, because this next part's quite difficult without it. Refill your health. Make sure your ammo is topped up. Obviously, you just picked up an LMG, so your ammo's probably pretty good. But make sure you also got some ammo for your pistol, because you might need it. Might save your life. In these vending machines, you can actually get some frag grenades, whose animations don't work properly, and mod out your weapon while you're at it. Personally, I have a preset save for this because I was using it in Wave Defense. But once you got your weapons picked out, another AK does spawn here as well if you liked it. Push this button here. And now you're on a time limit. 8 minutes. Time to move. We're going to go back the way we came. Or I guess on the opposite side. Gun it down these stairs. Horde of zombies does spawn in below you. Save your grenades though, you're going to need them. I recommend against burst firing the LMG. It does have a trigger delay, so if you burst fire it, it can lock up sometimes and decide not to fire. And this can be affected by the if you get bad performance, it's not going to run very well. Alright, we're going to keep running back the way we came. Remember, you are on a time limit, so do be moving. Keep moving down these tunnels. Start heading this way through this parking garage. And I always say is don't stop for anything. Up here. Here's where we're going to start using grenades. Toss a nade into this crowd here. Those two SCPs that basically just fucking jump scared me, but it is what it is. You pay attention as you come through here. As you hear, there are Foundation guards up there, and they will shoot at you. You might also notice this that room earlier where the guards tried to ambush us. They tried to sandwich us between a rolling shutter door and another foundation. We were up there. Come through here. That door is going to open. There's going to be another wave of infected coming. sure you're listening out, because sometimes they will run up behind you. You might have missed one or two in the area beforehand. Especially if you're like me and want to do Deathless, this room has been a nightmare of mine. Button, run back down, get on the lift, and you gotta survive for 30 more seconds. Personally, I like to crouch down right back here. That's where I feel like I have the most cover. Make sure though you keep an eye out, because sometimes they will come running up and try to get on the platform with you, particularly from above. But let's clear that small horde. 2, 1, lift goes up. And that, my friends, is a full raid on Area 12 solo. I did manage to do it deathless like I said I would try to do at the start. I did die twice in the server room, just by being stupid. But if you do it, if you're careful, if you're smart, it can be done solo, deathless. Thank you for watching, and I hope this guide helped you make it through the Area 12 raid.